Welcome, theater addicts. My name is Karen, and I'm here to review Fix by the Elegant Ladies Collective at Rails per Ellie as part of the 2018 Vancouver Fringe Festival. The Elegant Ladies Collective, I understand, has been around since 2014, and I believe this is their 6th site-specific production, and I believe they're usually part of Fringe. Their theater is very social conscious. My understanding is that proceeds from this show are all being donated to addiction services. As the show is about addiction, hence the term Fix, to the extent that they have offered and challenged 5 individuals every night. If they show up at Site C between 5:30 and 6, they can get free ticket for the show if they're willing to give up their cell phone. If they don't have a cell phone, if there's something else that they tend to be addicted to or fascinated with, such as cigarettes or such, they can drop that off as well. So they'll hang on to it till the end of the show and you'll get to see the show for free. So that's kind of a neat idea. Because it's site specific, I'm curious how that's going to play out. Luckily the weather is holding off, so that's going to be good for that. But yeah, I think it's going to be some powerful material. So I'm just really curious as to how they're going to do it. I haven't seen any of their past productions. I regret missing them, but I'm glad I made it to this one. That was a very interesting performance. Anything site-specific typically is. I can definitely say that this was indeed intense, intimate, and poetic. Another word I definitely think that could be used to describe this performance is vulnerable. Absolutely vulnerable. So what basically happens is you arrive at the meeting spot and a ferry, for lack of a better word, guides you over to the alleyway. And as you go down the alleyway, you're accompanied by a number of other performers with sort of a dance movement that guides you through to help kind of create a bit of an atmosphere, I guess you would say. And then you proceed to stop at 7 different stations with 7 very different, unique individuals who perform either by storytelling, poetry, or spoken word to tell their story. And the stories are in 3 different stages. So they've got the first one where they really kind of talk about their exposure to an addiction. Then they lead you into another portion which is somewhat like a root cause or the wound that they're trying to address or cover up, in a sense, you could say. And then the last stage to me was more about how they deal with that addiction or how they try to address the fix, or you could say how they try to fix the fix. Very, very powerful in the stories that are told. They are very intimate, as I said, vulnerable. There's no point in me really going into what it was that each individual had. I think it's something you really need to hear and experience on your own. I just really want to give a sense as to the process that you're guided through. Another thing that I found really interesting was the end. There's a very powerful finale. Again, I don't want to give away too much, but it definitely brought it all together in a very cohesive way. And I love that it really kind of brought everybody together as far as the fact that they were all so different, but it shows that their struggle's the same, and that we're all the same, really, because we're all struggling in some way, and it's really bringing people together with understanding. So very powerful message. This group, again, very social conscious in their messaging. I'm really intrigued as to what their other performances were now, because I do feel that it's important what they're trying to do. I do feel that the setting for this performance was quite good as far as being outside of a theater. It helped you to explore these individuals as you explored the alley. Also being followed by the performers who were a part of a movement was also somewhat unique and like I said, created an atmosphere. One of the challenges with this, however, was one of the performers I found was very soft-spoken. She was very difficult to hear. They don't use mics and they really don't need microphones. However, just one performer probably needs some help projecting, or maybe they just need to round people in a little closer to hear. So that was a little disappointing, simply because I don't feel I got the full effect of her message. One thing I did love was the fairy that took us through. It was really nice, as opposed to, you know, just somebody saying, hey, come over here. They guided you over really nicely. And she worked her way into the story as well. Again, I'm not sure if a fairy is appropriate, but I kind of did think of her as almost like a fairy godmother that was floating by these characters, as well as bringing us, the audience, through this storyline. So it was quite poetic in its own sense from that perspective. Again, a very powerful message, and I think it's worth seeing. If you're not into poetry, then perhaps you'll struggle with this a little bit because it's not traditional theater storyline. But if you do go see this performance or any others from Fringe, we'd love to get your take on it. So please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the Theatre Addicts YouTube channel, as well as check our website regularly for reviews and interviews as they get updated.